Good morning, beautiful people. Let me check if you can see me and you can hear me. Welcome. Yeah! I see a lot of people join me in for this live demonstration. You can see I wear my shorts, so welcome to this demonstration. My name is Astashkina, and we are going to talk about wafer paper. So let me know if you have any questions. If you would like to ask something and I wasn't able to answer during the demo, just leave it in the comments. Leave me a comment or tag me on social media and I'll go back and I'll answer your questions. I see that we have a little bit delay, so hello. I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. It's relatively mild weather here in Illinois, so I'm getting ready. I'm excited. I'm always nervous, but if you saw any other my demonstrations, you know that we are going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about wafer paper, how to cut, how to shape. And wafer paper is amazing. You can see I have a cake here, so this cake is also made using wafer paper, this side, and it's very versatile. So let me check again how we are doing. Good morning from Nigeria, good morning from Illinois. If you are watching live, let me know in the comments, do you have any experience working with wafer paper? If you're watching in the recording or like later in the day, let me know in the comment that you're watching the replay and that you love or you never worked with wafer paper, and then I will go back and see how many people love wafer paper as much as I do. Good afternoon. Okay, it's where I live in Illinois. I live in Chicago. It is only 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. So this, I haven't talked to any person yet, so you are my friends for this Sunday morning and for the whole day. Good morning from Glendale. Yeah, that's so cool. We are so close. Okay, I'll bring you down. Don't be stressed. Okay. How are we doing? And then, hello from Texas. Hello from New York. No experience with wafer paper. Okay, great. I started working with wafer paper in 2017, I believe. And so I only have 3 years of experience working with wafer paper. Not a big deal. We will learn together and we will share our experiences together. And here, okay. 3 p.m. in Nigeria. Great. So what I have here is wafer paper template, and I have a link somewhere in this, like on the top of the demonstration and information, where you can download. This is on my website. You can download this for free and you can have it for your needs if you want to make this type of flowers. But basically it's just a guide, and you can make any flower out of wafer paper. I'm just wanted to help you with this guide, with this template and my alcohol-free conditioner recipe. So you can go to my website and download if you want to work with me. Watching live from Nigeria. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me live. I'm new to wafer paper. Can I lay wafer paper flour on the buttercream cake? Yes, but I'll explain a little bit later, and I'll show you what I do to use wafer paper on buttercream. Good morning from Ireland. Hi from Puerto Rico. Little bit of experience, a little bit is better. Any experience is great. Wafer paper is very forgiving. So let's talk about wafer paper. What wafer paper is. Or in some countries, I know that wafer paper called rice paper, and I think that the difference is the main ingredient, because the wafer paper I have here, you can see it looks like regular printer paper, but it's edible. And wafer paper was invented, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago to use in French traditional pastries for nougat. So it's a base for making nougat, you know, around Christmas or holidays, very popular confection, and to prevent it from sticking. So it meant to use for candies, and it's absolutely edible. And wafer paper are usually made out of potato starch, oil, and water, and it is just a sheet of dehydrated concussion mixture. And the difference between wafer paper and rice paper, if it looks the same like this, white and semi-translucent, the difference is this one is made out of potato starch and it's called wafer paper, and some of them made out of rice starch and called rice paper. But in general it is the same. If it's white and like this semi-translucent, you can use it the same application. Wafer paper, rice paper, it's interchangeable. And most of the time wafer paper comes in different sizes, like thicknesses. This one is what we call here in the States AD grade, so this is 0.22 millimeters, is the finest you can get. For me it's the easiest to work with, and I prefer to work with paper when I'm making flowers. Next is 0.35 or premium wafer paper. It's a little bit thicker, and I find for some application, yes, it's better. And the third type is wafer paper cardstock. It's double thickness wafer paper. Hello from Denver, hello from Nigeria, hello from San Antonio, Texas. I hope it's not as hot in San Antonio, Texas as it was a few years ago when I went there around this time. Hello from Bolivia. Hello everyone. Let me know in the comments if you have any experience working with wafer paper. We are learning and experiencing and like exploring wafer paper today. So let me know in the comments. I really want to know. And wafer paper usually has two sides. One side is bumpy side, you can see it has some texture, and the other side is absolutely smooth. So for me, I prefer to use this bumpy side, is my face, like is my main side, because it has some texture. But they are equal, you can use any side you want, and it doesn't matter much. It's just your personal preference. My personal preference is this bumpy side. And when you buy your wafer paper, it usually comes in a small plastic bag. Oh, hello, Wisconsin. No experience. Okay, I hope you will learn something today. So usually wafer paper comes in this plastic bag, and it comes in a pack of 20 sheets or 100 sheets. And make sure when you're storing your wafer paper, you store it in a plastic bag or a plastic container, and you seal it tight so it's airtight. I like these bags, but it's personal preference. Even my colored, like pre-colored wafer paper, I keep it in a bag and it's always shut tight, because it will dry out and then it will be very, very hard to work with. So don't forget to take care of your wafer paper. Same as you're working with fondant or gum paste or sugar paste. You won't leave it on the table just laying around. You will put it in a bag, you will put it in a container, and you will make sure that there is no air around your fondant or gum paste. Same for wafer paper. Make sure you're taking care of that. And wafer paper, you can store it in a cupboard somewhere in a dark spot for indefinite. I don't know, wafer paper is good for 10 years or something, until if it's fresh, you can use it. Nothing to go bad. And I see your comments. No experience, some experience with wafer paper. Okay, we're learning together. So here's my template. I'm going to use this large size flour, and to cut your wafer paper, the easiest way I found to do that, let me put it on the side, is to cut my template. And make sure you have a good pair of sharp scissors. And I'm going to cut my template roughly to my wafer paper roughly to the size of my template. And I need 2 for this application, but most of the time, if I'm working and making a lot of flowers, I cut 3 layers of wafer paper, especially with this thin one. I cut 3 layers of wafer paper and my template on top. I see your comments. Let me check my focus on my camera. And I'll go back. Is there a way to rehydrate wafer paper if it has dried out? Yes. So what I do, if I store my wafer paper in a plastic bag like this, so I have 2 plastic bags. In between, one is here, it's in a plastic bag, you can see it, and another layer is this one. So I'll take a paper towel or like kitchen towel, dump it with water just a little bit, and put it inside in between layers of plastic. Or you can put it this, if you're concerned about your wafer paper being too moist, you can place your wafer towel, paper towel into a plastic bag and do not close it, like do not shut it tight, and put it inside your bigger plastic bag. So sometimes I do that because I live in Illinois and sometimes it's extremely dry here, and I feel that my wafer paper is not as pliable as I want it to be. So you can do that for sure, and it will not affect your wafer paper. Okay, so here I have 3 layers of wafer paper, my template, and I'm stacking them together and I'm cutting through all 4 layers. I find this way is the easiest to cut flowers, especially if I need to cut a lot, because I'm not spending time on tracing or doing other things. I just cut them together at the same time. And remember, when you're working with wafer paper, save your scraps, these tiny pieces of wafer paper, not the printer paper, wafer paper. And I usually keep it in a bag because then you can reuse it for other applications, like making wafer glue, or if you need to wire wafer paper, don't throw it away. You can reuse it not many times, once, but still you can use it when you need it. So here I have my 3 petals. You can see if you use sharp scissors, you can stack 3 layers and you can cut them together at the same time, no problem. So I'll use some of them as my testing materials, and these are already pre-cut flowers. I do not want to waste your time. So let's start with mixing our conditioner and our mixture to color our flowers. So what I'm going to use to do that is 2 main ingredients how I make my food grade, like alcohol free conditioner, is water and glycerin. This is food grade glycerin. This is by Wilton, I believe. You can buy at any store where you buy your fondant, because glycerin used to make your fondant softer or add to your gel colors to make them go fresh, back to fresh again. And water, I use distilled. You can use cooled down boiled water. Not a big difference. So I'll put 2 drops in each of my paint palettes, and I'll add a little bit of water because I'm going to mix 3 colors. I'm using 3 colors here. And for my colors for my pansies, I'm going to use gel color. So the nice thing about wafer paper, you can use gel colors, you can use powder colors, you can use airbrush colors, and you can do the same application for your wafer paper, same conditioner mixture, and then you can apply it to your wafer paper. So a little bit of sunshine yellow. Hello, Peggy. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Oh, that's not as far away as my hometown, but it still is far away. And I have 2 drops of gel color here. And first I'm going to color my this middle part. And I'm going to mix my conditioner light purple color. So here's my mixture of water and food grade glycerin. And if you download my template, I put a recipe on the back side, on the second page, so you can have this recipe for yourself and you can mix it when you need it. So I'm going to add just a touch of this purple color, and you can see you don't need much to add color to your mixture. So this is going to be my medium shade for this part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my brush, put it on my working table, or you can put it on your hand or on a piece of paper towel. I just wanted to make sure that I have as little color on my brush as possible. I wanted to make it darker for you to see that I have color. And I'm working on the bumpy side. So this is my wafer paper template, cut it out, and you can see that I'm working on the bumpy side. And I'm going to color only my front side, because for the wafer paper I used today, so that's the thin one, I only need to color front side. So I barely have any color, and I put it on the side to dry a little bit. Before, I'll show you how to add texture. And then I'll color this to much darker color. So I'm going to mix again my conditioner, but add much more gel color to the mixture. And you will be able to see the difference. So you can see it's almost black, but it's not black, it's purple. And I'm holding my petal, making sure that I have almost nothing, as little moisture on my brush as possible. You can definitely use a paper towel to unload your brush. I'm just trying to be cautious about not using paper towels or a lot of paper goods, because it's single use, and I'm trying to be aware of that. So I have dark purple on my brush, and I'm going to paint my petal and make sure that I have enough moisture to paint it, like to cover up the whole petal, but it's still not too much so my petal isn't melting. Again, I'll put it here on the side to dry. Do the same for my second petal, for my top second petal. And I'm working on the bumpy side and just leaving this to dry for a few seconds. And for my bottom part, for this part, I'm going to mix yellow color. So let me grab another brush. And I'm mixing food grade glycerin, water, and a little bit of gel color. So you can see how bright this color is. Sometimes, if I feel it's a little bit too bright, I can put it on the side and add more water and more glycerin to bring it down. But here I'm going to use it for sure, because I love this color. So that's it. That's what I needed to do to color my petals. on the side to dry, and I'll do the same again for another flower. Let's do yellow. Where is my part? Paint this mixture. And put it on the side for a few seconds. And I'll go back to my purple color. Maybe make it a little bit darker, because you can barely see that I have any color here. And when you're painting your wafer paper with this mixture, make sure that you're going very, very lightly. So if you wanted to make it darker, like absolutely dark, like totally black or something, maybe navy color, you can use just straight gel color. Add just a touch of glycerin or water on your brush, and you can paint. You can see I'm using straight gel color from my bottle to color my petal, and you will get this bright dark color. It's the same as color of my bottle. And I'll do one more for this application. And it's better to go lighter and then add more color than go dark or wet at the first application and then you cannot go back and fix it. Let me clean my table for a second. How are you doing? Do you have any questions? What do you want to know about wafer paper? Let me know in the comments. Hi from Canada. Hi Canada. Hi from Lagos, Nigeria. Great. So here I have my first flower. It's already been first set of petals. It's already been drying for a minute or so, and I'm checking if it's soft or if it's already dry or not so dry. So I can see that it still has some moisture, but it's not totally dry. I'm going to use this veining stick, but you don't need. You can leave it like this. You can place it in something to shape it, like in this container or something like this, to shape it and make it rounder. But I'm going to show you how, if you want to vein wafer paper, you need to put it on the side of your flower mat. It doesn't matter what side is up. For me, I personally prefer to vein on the dry side. So we applied conditioner on this side. I'm turning this upside down and lightly pressing down to vein. And I hope you can see that I have texture for this application. And I'll do the same for my other petals. It just takes a few seconds, but it adds a little bit more visual interest. And the main thing with wafer paper, what we are trying to achieve and what we are trying to do while working with wafer paper is add a little bit of movement, texture, and some interest, because when you use wafer paper straight from the package and you just cut it, nothing interesting about that. And that's the main concern with working with wafer paper, is how to make it interesting. So you need to add a little bit of moisture, you need to vein, you can use a ball tool. I'll show you in a second. If you want to shape your wafer paper and make it rounder, you can use a regular ball tool. Place it in the palm of your hand. Most of the time I use it on my hand, and just gently move it around. So you can see now my petal isn't flat anymore. And I'll do the same for this one, just a little bit. And I found that working on the palm of my hand helps with wafer paper to stay in one piece, because your palm of your hand usually has some moisture, at least a little bit, and it helps with wafer paper to shape it. Just a touch. So now you can see the difference between the piece that we had before. Let me see if I have something pre-cut. And now it has some movement, and we are ready to assemble. And it's already dry, so that's the nice thing about working with wafer paper, is it is already dry in like few seconds, few minutes maybe. If I make a lot of flowers and I need to assemble them on a cake, for example, I want to place these flowers on buttercream cake. It's what was one of the questions, how to place wafer paper on a buttercream cake. What I use is I use cocoa butter. This is the regular cocoa butter you can buy, I don't know, Amazon, everywhere. So that's the food grade cocoa butter, and I place it in a bowl, just a few nibs of cocoa butter. So like this, I will place it in a bowl, and I will melt it in a microwave or over hot water, and it will become liquid. And then I take my flour, like imagine that's the finished flour, and I dip it in my melted cocoa butter, put it on the side to solidify and dry, and then I can place it on my cake, because cocoa butter is pure fat, and it will prevent your wafer paper from melting from your buttercream. So it's going to be your barrier between your wafer paper and your buttercream if you want to use it on a buttercream. Just use a little bit of cocoa butter, or you can use candy melts or chocolate, especially if you're making something like kids related. You can dip your flowers in chocolate and place it straight on a cake, and the barrier between wafer paper and your cake will be enough to protect it from moisture. Hello, Ree. Oh, beautiful angel lady, who is my big inspiration of working with wafer paper. She's here. I'm so excited. So we let our petals dry for maybe a few minutes, and now let's paint a little bit more. I'll take my color back, and I'll take my purple brush back, so I'll show you how you can darken your colors and you can add more interest. And I'll take a little bit of this gel color straight from my bottle, and I'm going to paint around like this to make it look cohesive and to bring everything together. For my petals, another thing, by the way, if you want to work with wafer paper and you want to attach it to your cake, you can definitely use isomalt. If you're working with isomalt and you want to add something where you want it to be clear, you can use isomalt for sure. Isomalt or piping gel, that's what I use to attach wafer paper to my fondant cakes most of the time. Now to assemble this flower, I need to put it, this is going to be my middle section with this darker here, here and here. To assemble wafer paper and to glue this together, I'm going to use a little bit of wafer glue, and wafer glue just made out of mixing wafer paper with water and let it sit for a few hours, preferably overnight. But you can use piping gel or you can use water for this application. it doesn't matter. Let me check if you have any comments. At which stage of dryness do you use the ball tool? Can you color all your flowers and then give them textures, say next day? You can do that for sure. If you're using a ball tool in the palm of your hand, like for example, this flower is dry, I didn't do any texture to that or any moisture, and I place it in the palm of my hand, and I use the ball tool. I just need to be careful, and it will take much longer for me to add texture. So for me, I prefer to use at the stage when it's still, you can feel a little bit of moisture, so it won't rip or I won't make any holes. Then I use it. It's much easier because it takes just a second. So usually I go like I paint, put them on the side, then check some of them if they dry enough. I use a ball tool again, go in rows, and then let them dry completely, and then assemble and add any other elements or visual interest if I wanted to add some. So I'm going to add a touch of wafer glue to these two parts and to this middle part, and assemble them together. So this is going to the back, and this is going to be my front piece. And you can see I already have a flower, but I wanted to add more color to that, so I'll put it on the side to dry in a little bit this cup shape, and I'll do the same for this flower. Just a touch of wafer glue to these top parts and to this middle part, and stick them together. Like that, and put it on the side to dry. And next step, what I'm going to use to add even more interest and color, I'm going to take an airbrush black color. You can use food marker. I just prefer to work with airbrush color. This is super black airbrush color, and I don't need much, just one drop. And a tiny brush. That is just my personal preference. If you feel comfortable working with food marker, do that for sure. You don't need to use airbrush color and a tiny brush. For me, I love to paint, and I hope you can see why I love to paint, because then I can do all these tiny stripes on my color. And you can use same like purple gel or yellow gel. You can use any color you want and just paint a few stripes here and there to make it look like a pansy flower. And if you didn't know, I'm from Russia, and my name is Anna. And in Russia, the name for this flower, for the pansy flower, is Anna's eyes. So I know it sounds weird, but for me, I cannot call these flowers pansies. I can call them my name and my eye, so Anna's eye. And that is why I love them so much, because we share the name for the flower. Like the flower and my name is the same in Russian. And few lines here and there. And you can make these flowers as quick as you want. You don't need to be precise or specific. You can make them smaller or larger. It's up to you, absolutely. It is very, very easy to do. And last step, I have just a touch of piping gel here, and this is a hologramic gold dust. You can use edible dust. You don't need to use this dust exactly. I just love because it's so shiny, and I love everything shiny on my cake. And I'll take a small brush, or you can even use the back side of your brush, and grab just a little bit of piping gel on my brush. So you can see I don't have much. Dip it in my color, in my gold dust, and place it inside my flower. So now I have flower center. You can see it's a little bit raised up, so it's a little bit not so flat. And I have gold accent. You can use the same method with any dust color, just mixed a little bit with piping gel, or even royal icing, whatever you're comfortable with working. And then place it in the middle. I'm just checking my camera doesn't want to focus, and I wanted to make sure that you can see me and everything I'm showing you. And yeah, the name is Anna's Eyes. I know it's weird, but it is what it is. And we do not call it Pansy, we call it Anna's Eyes. So again, I'm grabbing a little bit of piping gel on my brush, small amount, and dip it in my gold dust and place it in the middle of my flower, like this. Let me put this away, otherwise my table will be covered in gold dust, piping gel, and everything. This, yeah, so that's how you make your wafer paper pansies. And I think it's relatively easy way to make flowers, but it's effective. So you can use, if you Google pansy flowers, and you can make them in any different shapes and colors, same method, same way, and you can find on internet, just Google for pansy flowers, you can see all the colors and variations they come. You can make these flowers in smaller size. I have here on my template smaller size if you need to. You can place them, if you use the cocoa butter method, you can place them on your buttercream cake, wafer paper decorations, other like on a buttercream using cocoa butter. You can place it on fondant. If you're going to put it on fondant, I would suggest you to use a little bit of piping gel, so just paint or like pipe a touch of piping gel before attaching to your cake. And I hope you like it, and I hope it is clear what we need to do while working with the wafer paper, and I hope I answered all your questions. But if you have any questions, or you want to learn more, or you need this template, just leave me a comment down below, and I'll go back after the demonstration and I'll answer all your questions. Or if you cannot find this template, just leave me a comment, I need the template, and I'll send you a link, so it won't take long. And I hope you like these flowers, I hope you like this demonstration, and if you want someone you want to share this demo with, just let me know, and I have a few minutes to read your comments. Yeah. If you never worked with wafer paper, let me bring you back. My technology is stuck. So, yeah, I'm back. Yes. So, if you never worked with wafer paper and you wanted to try this method, please tag me. Or if you work with wafer paper, it doesn't matter. Wafer paper is amazing. Just make sure you properly keep it in a sealed bag, and make sure that if you make these flowers like in advance and you wanted to add this to your cake like week later, month later, year later, keep it in a plastic bag or Tupperware container. I can show you how I keep mine. So usually my flowers I keep in this sort of Tupperware containers, and then when I need to use them, I just take as much as I need and I use them on my cakes throughout the year. So like I have one of the cakes I have here is wafer paper flowers, and it's obviously everything is edible, and isomalt and butterflies. So I'm sorry. Other things you can do with wafer paper, you can make something like this. You can see this is wafer paper daffodils, and there is no wire except for the stem. You can make something like this, all these textures and veins, and wafer paper is really easy and forgiving material to work with, like these puppies. I really like this arrangement. I do not want to use it on a cake, and I'm not going to use it on a cake, but I have it in my studio just on the table. You can see I have a lot of wafer paper flowers and everything. So something like this, you can make something more, I would say, nature inspired, like relatively realistic looking flowers. So that's the beauty of wafer paper. It's very versatile, and another nice thing about that, it's unbreakable. I have a flower made, this is a sugar dahlia, so this is made out of gum paste, and it took me 8 hours to make this flower. And I would say that I'm pretty experienced with working with gum paste and making flowers in general, so I understand what I'm doing. But still, for this flower it took me like 8 hours to make, and I'm so afraid to drop it because I will break it, and it will break. And wafer paper, I can do whatever I want and drop it or arrange it on a cake, or like these flowers, if you want to place them closer, or you want to stack them, it is much easier, much more pleasant to work with, in my experience, compared to gum paste, and it's just much faster. And you can see my unicorn balloon. My birthday was this Tuesday, so 5 days ago, so I still have my unicorn balloon. And thank you so much for joining me for this demonstration. I hope you like it. If you have any questions about working with wafer paper, or you want to learn more, explore, play, just try. Just buy any, like the most affordable wafer paper, rust paper you can find on Amazon. I believe like the easiest to get one is about $11 for 20 sheets. Just try, play, and see if you like it or not. Maybe it will be your new favorite medium as it become mine. And I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday and the rest of your week, or the beginning of your week. And I'll see you next time somewhere on the internet. Don't forget to tag me as Astashkina Cakes on social media. And thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.